I felt like preaching this morning. Young folks, there are some peers at school. They'll smile in your face and stab you in your back. There's some people in the classrooms who do not like you just because you are you. Who will get you suspended, expelled, ISS detention, and some wolves that hang around you.
They sleep.
The text says in verse 4. Not only does David give his problem in the text, but right where his problem is, he gives his testimony. It's something in this text that you preachers and theologians miss when they read Psalms 23. David says, yea, though I walk through the valley. He didn't say he's stopping in the valley. He's not sitting down in the valley. He's not resting in the valley. He's simply going through. Preach up, kerione. It's okay to go through something because one day what you're going through has to be through. God have mercy.
Say it, Doc.
He turned it. Let me give you point one of the text. Of my text, then I'm going on to my seat because I ain't going to hold it long.
You ain't going nowhere.
For you to know he turned it, you have to first know that he who watches you, watch out for you. Somebody missed it. The man who watches over you is the same man who watches out for you. Understand the historicity of the text. Shepherds back in Bible days not only watch over the sheep, but they will watch out for the sheep. They will beat off wolves and thieves who will come and try to take and kill the sheep. That's why David says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. God help me this morning. He says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Which means you just simply, Lord, looking out for me. You're looking out for people who don't mean me no good. You're looking out for wolves that hide themselves in sheep's disguises. You're looking out for thieves who want to come in and take my life. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. He goes on to say that thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. In order for me to eat my enemies, they got to be present.
Hey!
I was a little boy, I remember a cartoon called Looney Tunes I used to watch. And they have a wolf on Looney Tunes who always wanted to kill the sheep on the cartoon. And the sheep would be in the grass eating. But the wolf will be watching the sheep eat their food. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He anoints my head with oil that my cup runneth over. And that simply means the Lord keeps on blessing me. Have you ever poured something into a cup and you pour too much and the cup overflows? That's how God's blessing is on my life. He just keeps on pouring and the cup just keeps on overflowing. Well, y'all ain't talking. Let me give you a full God blessing. He woke me up this morning. Clothes me in my right mind. Put clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, gave me sense in my head, and I came to church this morning. Is there anybody in here that can testify that the Lord just keeps on blessing? Verse 6 is my exit, and I promise I'm going to my seat.
No, you ain't. We got time.
Watch what verse 6 says in the text. He says, surely goodness, and not only goodness, but mercy follow me. Not some of the days of my life, not the days I love the Lord and I'm doing good of my life, but goodness and mercy follow me on days I'm going through hell and high water. Goodness and mercy follow me days I'm going on the bridge of troubled water. Goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. This morning when I woke up, Pastor Pipkins, God came in the room. And along with the room came Justice. And Justice stood on his left side. But two more people came in the room this morning. They were two Siamese conjoined twins. One don't go without the other. Called goodness and mercy. And they he ain't been no good. Justice said, Lord, just let him sleep on. Save yourself from this trouble and heartache, Lord. Let him sleep on, take his rest. But goodness and mercy, they keep silent. Goodness and mercy said, Lord, just give him one more day. And I'm so glad the Lord heard goodness and he heard me. I'm about to get out of here. You have to look at the history of goodness and mercy in Bible days. In Bible days, hunters, when they went hunting, they would have hunting dogs. And whatever the master shot down or said, go get, the dogs would go after it. So when David said, goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life, he's referring to two hunting dogs called goodness and mercy. With the Lord being the hunter and me being the hunted. And when the Lord told goodness and mercy to come get me, goodness and mercy didn't do nothing but obey the Lord's command. Watch what else he said in verse 6. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Lord showed me something that most theologians, preachers miss out of Psalms 23. Right before I was in verse 4, in the valley of the shadow of death. But now I'm in verse 6, and my situation and my placement has changed. Because no longer am I in the valley no more. Now I'm in the house of the Lord. Y'all missed it. Let me give you your shout. Your situation can change if you hold on a little while longer. Right now you look like you below sea level, but if you hold on a little while longer, your situation can turn around. He can put you above sea level. Your marriage can turn around.
I hear music, Doc.
Your grades can turn around. The situation on your job can turn around. If you hold on a little while longer. I'm through. But there's a story of a young boy by the name of Little Joe. Little Joe came from a single parent home. He stayed with his mother in a one-bedroom apartment in the projects. And Little Joe didn't have what other children in the neighborhood had. Little Joe had holes in his clothes. The bottom of his shoes were falling apart. Little Joe went to school every day, and he was in the classroom from kindergarten to 12th grade, but for certain young men whose parents were politicians, preachers, doctors, and lawyers. And every day, Little Joe would come to school on a bus, or he would have to walk because his mother did not have a car. And so Little Joe would come to school with holes in his clothes, and these little boys would tease Little Joe. They would say, Little Joe, where's your new clothes like we got? And Little Joe would just look at those boys and say, God has not moved yet. Little Joe didn't have transportation to school. So they would pass up Little Joe every day in their fine automobile. They would roll the window down and say, Little Joe, where's your car? And Little Joe would just say, God has not moved yet. Oh Lord, have mercy. It went all the way up to high school. And on the day of graduation, Little Joe was late. He was so late they didn't even call his name. They just passed him, hit the plumber off the stage. The little boys, when their robes holding on the plumbers, they have walked across the stage and they teased Little Joe, saying, Little Joe, either you're still catching the city bus everywhere you go. And Little Joe just said, God has not moved yet. They went on about their life, and 20 years later, they came to their class reunion. Those four young men met up in the parking lot, and they were discussing all of the things they had accomplished. One of the boys asked the question, where is Little Joe? The first young man said, well, he's probably somewhere still in the projects. Somebody said, now he's somewhere at the bus stop waiting to get here. Somebody Somebody said now he's probably somewhere in a jail cell. Somebody said now he's probably somewhere in Heavenly Gates funeral. Just then a money green Bentley drove up. And a man got out of the car with a tailor-made suit, Stacy Adam alligators, and diamonds for cufflinks. Somebody said, who is that young man? I've never seen him in my life. Just then somebody recognized him, and they said, Little Joe, is that you? Little Joe said, yeah man, it's me. Somebody said, Joe, how did you get a car like that? Joe put a smile on his face and said, my God, move. Have mercy, Lord. Oh, somebody said, Joe, where you working at now? Joe said, you see that building 3 miles up the road? The tall skyscraper with all the construction on it. The boy said, you mean the $1 million company? And Joe said, no, man, the $1 billion company. Joe said, that's my business. How did you get a business like that, little Joe? It's because my God moved. Have mercy, Lord. Just then, somebody asked little Joe, well, Joe, where you staying at now? Joe said, did you see the house on the hill when you left the airport? They said, you mean the big house with the lake around it, and the Cadillacs, Bentleys, Mustangs, Camaros, Rolls Royce in the driveway. Joe said, yeah man, that's my house, and I got enough cars to open up my own car lot. How is it, little Joe, you can get all of that? And little Joe just looked at him and said these words, and they were, my God, move. Just then little Joe went around the other side of the car and opened up the door. And out of the car came a lady, bright-skinned and long hair, down her back with red bottoms on. One of the young men looked at her and said, I've seen that girl somewhere before. Little Joe said, well, you may have seen her on the TV, on the catwalks in Paris. Little Joe said, this is my wife. They said, little Joe, how could you meet a woman like that? He said, because my God, he moved. Have I got a witness this morning? He said, my God moved. He took his wife and started to go inside of the convention center. But one of those young men said, well, little Joe, I have a question for you. When we was coming up, we would always tease you. And you would say, my God hasn't moved. But now today you saying, my God moved. How is it, little Joe, that your God moved right now? Little Joe said, well, I thought you never asked. When we were growing up, you had a lot of things at your house I didn't have at mine. But it was one thing I had in my house, didn't have at yours. And that was I had a mama who believed in God. And she believed in the power of prayer. And every day you would tease me and tease me about the things I did not have. And I go home and cry myself to sleep at night. And I would ask my mama, when is it going to be our turn to get the things they have? And his mama would look at little Joe and said these words, and that was, you can't hurry, God. You just have to wait. And all I'm trying to tell you is, it looks bad right now, but if you hold on